Friedrich Wilhelm August Frobel was born April 21st, 1782, in Oberschwarzbach, Thuringia, Ernstein-Saxony, which is now in Germany. Friedrich was the youngest of 5 sons of Johann Jacob Frobel. Friedrich's mother passed away when he was only 9 months old. Friedrich, his father, Johann, was remarried when his son Friedrich was only 4 years old. Friedrich felt very neglected by his father and his stepmother. From the years of 1793 to 1798, Friedrich lived with his maternal uncle, Herr Hoffmann, in Stadtum, where he attended the local town school. In 1798 to 1800, Friedrich was an apprentice to a forester and a surveyor in Neuhaus. After that, he went to the University of Jena, and he was there for the space of 2 years. When Friedrich was done at the University of Jena, he went to Frankfurt. While Friedrich was at Frankfurt, he was fascinated with architecture, and because of that, it helped him create a design that is called the gift that he gave to the kindergartners. In 1805 is when Friedrich started to get involved with education. He was hired by Anton Gruner, who was the headmaster of the Pestalozzian Frankfurt Model School. To help prepare Friedrich as a teacher, he was sent to Johann Heinrich Pestalozzi at Yerevan. Friedrich was very impressed with Pestalozzi, especially the amount of respect he had for the dignity of children and creation of a learning environment of emotional security were highly significant educational elements that he wanted to incorporate in his own teaching. He was also intrigued by Pestalozzi form, number, and name lessons, which was from a form of a basis for his latter design of the kindergartner gifts. After Friedrich was taught by Pestalozzi, he went on and taught at Gruner School. Friedrich taught at the Gruner School for 2 years, and then he decided to leave and go to Switzerland, Yerevan, where he was in close contact with Pestalozzi. The years 1816-1829 were very busy for Friedrich. In 1816, he established a school which was called Universal German Educational Institute at Kreisheim. Friedrich later moved his institute to Kelheim in 1817. In 1818, Friedrich married his wonderful wife, Henrietta Wilhelmine Hofmeister. In 1826, Friedrich wrote his important treatise, Messerrein Hung. Frobel was very busy in the year of 1831. Frobel established an institute at Wartensee on Lake Sempak in Switzerland, and then relocated the school to Willisau. Frobel next operated an orphanage and boarding school at Bergdorf. In 1837 is when Friedrich established a new type of early childhood school, a child's garden, or kindergarten for 3 and 4-year-old children. Using play, songs, stories, and activities, the kindergarten was designed as an educational environment which children, through their own self-development, children would follow the divinely established laws of human growth through their own activity. Frobel's reputation as an early childhood educator increased, and kindergartens were established throughout the German states. Friedrich's educational philosophies were influenced by the work of Johann Gottfried Herder, Immanuel Kant, and Georg Wilhelm Hegel. Friedrich followed these idealist themes. All existence originates in and with God. Humans possess an inherent spiritual essence that is a vitalizing life force that causes development, all being and ideas interconnected part of a grand order and systematic universe. Friedrich believed these principles and declared that each child that is born has an internal spiritual essence that wants to be conveyed through self-activity. Friedrich believed that kindergarten's main focus should be about playing. Friedrich believed that playing would allow the children to express their innermost thoughts, needs, and desires. But there was a problem with Friedrich's view about children playing. Back in the 19th century, People believed that playing was a form of idleness and disorder was an unworthy element of human life. Normally, children went to work when they were under the age of 7 and didn't start school until they were older. Friedrich also believed by allowing children to have the opportunity to play, the children would socialize and copy the adult social and economic activities that would eventually lead to a larger world of group life. Friedrich invented a series of gifts and occupations to be used in kindergarten. These gifts were identified as fundamental forms. The gifts had both their actual physical appearance and also hidden symbolic meaning. They were to stimulate the child to bring the fundamental concept that they represented to a mental consciousness. These gifts that Friedrich created were 6 soft colored balls, a wooden sphere cube, a cylinder, a large cube divided into 8 smaller cubes, a large cube divided into 8 oblong blocks, a large cube divided into 21 whole, 6 half and 12 quarter cubes, a large cube divided into 18 whole oblongs, 3 divided breadwidths, quadrangular and triangular tablets used for arranging figures, sticks for outlining figures, whole and half wire rings for outlining figures, various materials for drawing, perforating, embroidering, paper cutting, weaving or braiding, paper folding, modeling, and interlacing. Friedrich recognized the value of playing with blocks. Frobel believed that the playing with blocks gives fundamental expressions to a child's soul and to the unity of life. Through proper use of the gifts, the child progresses from material to the abstract, from the volumetric lessons offered by blocks through the two-dimensional planar ones elucidated by play with parquetry tiles, flat geometrically patterned wooden shapes, to deductions of linear nature drawn from stick laying to use of the point and the pin prick drawings, points and points. In turn, describe a line, and the child completes the logic by returning from 2D to the 3D realm of volume through piecework, which is joining small malleable balls with short sticks and onto solid three-dimensional work in clay. In 1851, Karl von Römer, the Prussian Minister of Education, banned kindergarten. He accused Friedrich of spreading atheism and socialism. But luckily, all of Friedrich's hard work didn't go to waste in developing kindergarten. One of Friedrich's students started several kindergartens in the UK, and German immigrants introduced kindergartens to the United States of America. Friedrich died on June 21st, 1852. Friedrich has impacted thousands and thousands of lives because he started and created kindergarten. I believe kindergarten was inspired because kindergarten helps the young students to learn to love going to school and to love learning. In kindergarten, you learn the foundation of everything you learn later in school. You learn about numbers, how to count, you learn your ABCs, spelling words, you learn about reading. It is a critical time in a child's life. I have personally been impacted by Friedrich Frobel because I had a wonderful kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Young, who was very loving, kind, and supportive and loved teaching. Mrs. Young taught me many wonderful things which has truly blessed my life, and I am very grateful to have her as my kindergarten teacher.